Look out the window tonight. Look at the stars. We've been told a beautiful, comfortable lie about how the universe works. From the time we were children, we were shown models of the solar system. Colorful little balls painted on a canvas, locked in a perfect, predictable, eternal dance around a warm sun. Earth spins in its safe, sunny lane. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, all behaving. It feels like a clockwork machine. It feels stable. It feels safe. But nature is not an orderly clockmaker. Nature is a predator, and out there, in the crushing absolute black between those stars, lies a terrifying reality that astronomers are only just beginning to comprehend. There are worlds out there with no sun, worlds where the concept of morning does not exist. No sunrise, no sunset, no seasons, no light. Just an eternal, localized, frozen apocalypse. They're moving through the interstellar void at hundreds of miles per second, completely cut loose from any anchor. We call them rogue planets. These aren't just dead chunks of rock. We're talking about gas giants 5 times the size of Jupiter and rocky Earths with frozen oceans hurtling through the wilderness. Tonight, we're going to dive into that shadow sea. We're going to witness a story of cosmic violence, invisible empires, and the shocking possibility that the darkest places in the universe might actually be alive. To understand how a world becomes a ghost, we have to travel backwards in time. We need to look at the violent, chaotic infancy of a solar system. Astronomers call it the chaos phase, but a more accurate term would be a planetary demolition derby. When a star is born, it is surrounded by a disk of dust and gas. Planets don't just pop up in their final orbits, they fight for them. Giant gas monsters, worlds like Jupiter and Saturn, are highly unstable in their youth. They don't stay where they were born, they migrate. They plow inward toward the star, acting like gravitational bulldozers. As these gas giants move, their immense gravitational fields warp the fabric of space around them. Imagine a smaller, rocky planet, a world just like Earth, perhaps with its own shallow oceans and early atmosphere. It's minding its own business, locked in its orbit. Suddenly, a gas giant the size of 300 Earths sweeps past. The laws of physics turn sadistic. The giant doesn't violently collide with the smaller planet. It doesn't need to. Its gravity catches the smaller world in a violent, invisible slingshot. The smaller planet is accelerated to impossible speeds, whipped around the giant, and hurled outward. Imagine being on that world during eviction. Day by day, your sun begins to shrink in the sky. It fades from a blazing disk to a bright star, then to a dim pinprick. The temperature plummets. First, the oceans freeze solid, locking the waves in stone. Then the atmosphere itself collapses. The air turns to liquid, raining down as blue oxygen snow until the sky is entirely gone. The planet is cast out into the interstellar dark. The star's grip is broken forever. It is a literal eviction, a world sentenced to an eternity of solitary confinement in the frozen void, and there's no coming back. Now, when astronomers first conceptualized this, they thought it was a freak accident, a tragic 1 in a billion cosmic anomaly. They thought the space between the stars was a vast, empty desert. They were wrong. Recent data from our most advanced space telescopes, combined with complex computer simulations, have revealed a truth that is deeply unsettling. Rogue planets are not the exception. They might be the rule. Astronomers now estimate that for every single star you see in the night sky, there are likely multiple rogue planets wandering in the dark. Let that number wash over you. In our Milky Way galaxy alone, there are roughly 100 billion stars. That means there could be hundreds of billions, perhaps trillions of untethered, invisible worlds drifting out there. Think about what that means when you look at the night sky, when you look at the black patches of space between Orion and the Big Dipper. You weren't looking at an empty vacuum. You were looking into a crowded fog of ghosts. Space is not empty. It is teeming with an invisible empire of abandoned worlds. We are sailing our own solar system through a dark, crowded ocean, completely blind to the ships passing us in the night. But this is where the story takes its ultimate twist. This is the part that should make your skin crawl with excitement. You would assume a world cut off from a star is a dead, sterile corpse. No sunlight means no photosynthesis, which means no plants, no animals, and no life, right? Wrong. Physics offers these lonely worlds a lifeline: internal heat. A planet doesn't just get warm from the outside, it stays warm from the inside, deep within the core of any rocky planet. The radioactive decay of elements, like uranium and thorium, acts as a nuclear furnace. On Earth, this is what derives our volcanoes and shifts our continents. If an evicted planet is thrown into space with a thick, heavy blanket of hydrogen gas in its atmosphere, that gas acts like a cosmic thermos. It traps the core's geothermal heat inside. The surface will still be an icy hell, miles of solid, unyielding ice. But beneath that ice, the planet's core keeps the water liquid. It creates a global subterranean ocean, an ocean that has never seen a ray of sunlight, warmed entirely from below by hydrothermal vents. We know this is possible because we see it in our own celestial backyard, on Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus. On the floor of Earth's oceans completely cut off from the sun, entire ecosystems thrive on chemical energy from volcanic vents. In the pitch black of a rogue planet, an entire alien biosphere could be swimming, evolving, and communicating in the dark. An entire civilization of aquatic life could exist right now, completely unaware that stars even exist. Life finds a way in the abyss. So, we come to the ultimate scientific paradox. If they emit no light, reflect no light, and drift in total obscurity, how do you catch a ghost? How do we know they're actually there? Einstein proved that gravity isn't just a pull. It bends the very fabric of space and time. Imagine space as a taut trampoline. If you place a heavy bowling ball on it, the fabric sags. A rogue planet does the same thing to space-time. It creates a gravitational dimple. To find them, astronomers point our most powerful telescopes at dense clusters of millions of distant stars. They wait and they watch. Every once in a while, an invisible rogue planet will drift directly in front of one of those distant stars. As the planet passes by, its gravity acts like a cosmic magnifying glass. It bends and focuses the light of the background star toward Earth. For a few brief hours or a few days, that distant star suddenly and inexplicably spikes in brightness, flashing in the dark before fading back to normal. We don't see the planet. We see the planet interfere with the universe behind it. It is a fleeting, haunting fingerprint, a momentary blink in the dark that says, "I am here." The cosmos is not just the bright, shiny places we can easily point to. It is a vast, silent ocean populated by billions of lonely wanderers. The next time you look up at the night sky, don't just admire the lights. Respect the dark, because the dark is alive.